One of the important topics with inheritance is the exceptions. We once referred to this hierarchy, but you didn't know at this moment of time that this hierarchy is actually representing an inheritance hierarchy. So this is one of the good cases where inheritance is a nice one. There is no multiple inheritance here. Every exception is just inheriting from one specific thing. So now I would like you to start to look at this one as an inheritance hierarchy. But there is one question here. Let's say we have an OS error here as an error. It seems that we have a child classes, file not found error, interrupted error, permission error, timeout error. We have 4 classes as a children for that guy. Now in terms of the order of the exception, does it matter? Let's say the following. If we did this old example here with the except over the file not found, except over the permission error, and over the OS error. Now if we tried something that doesn't exist, file not found error is evaluated first. If we tried something that we have permission issues with it, then file not found will not work, but permission error will work. So it's going to be permission error. Let's swap. Let's bring the OS error first in the top of the exceptions. When we have both of these errors, they will give you OS error. Why? Because it is in the very early of the exceptions. This means that these 2 exceptions here are useless. Even you see by charm is giving you some warning. And the moral of that is you must make the child class first before its parent class. Otherwise, the child class will never be triggered. What if I would like to define my own user-defined exception? You might define your class as it is, but this is wrong. Every class has to derive from some exception that is part of the base class. So you can inherit from the base exception, inherit from exception, inherit from runtime exception, but you must extend from one of the built-in exceptions. You must do that. Once you did that, you can just use it and raise it. You can even go in more details. Let's say you would like to define some of your own parameters like money and message, for example. All what you need is you have to call the super function with the init method and pass some message for it. So if you would like to define more details, just make sure to call the super function here. And you can override more, like say you would like to override the str function, for example, then you can override it normally. This is how you define your user defined exception. I would like to give you an important industrial tip. It is good if all of your application has a single base class for all of your errors, and all of your customized exceptions are inheriting from this single base exception. This way, if the customer would like to catch any error from you, he can has one try catch, like say this is a payment gateway, payment base exception, then he is guaranteeing to catch any error coming from your side. So make it like a rule for you. If we are defining our customer base exception, we have to find one base class from our side that is representing all of our exceptions. If you didn't do that, the customer, if the customer wanted to handle something only from your side but not from others, he will get lost. So one big base exception for all of your exceptions, and everything in your application is inheriting from it. That's all.